See that? Second one. You see that, right over on? I did a second.
You're really professional.
Thank you very much.
There you go.
Phiction with a PH.
Yeah.
It's 6 short stories that take place within the Phantasm universe. That means all 5 films.
Yes.
I gotta say, Don, I loved it. You were signed up to. You sent me a beautiful copy, hardcover copy with the.
He got it for free, so you'll have to take this with a grain of salt.
And he signed it too, so that was nice. But no, in all seriousness, it's I couldn't put it down.
That's so nice of you to say.
And it's a gift for Phantasm fans. And the stories are all 6 stories are really good. But my favorites were the ones that take place with the characters or surrounding the original film.
Yeah.
My favorite story is the backstory of the caretaker.
Interesting.
It's my favorite one in the book, and I love the whole book. But talk about Phiction, and it's available at your table, and people can get a copy. It's remarkable. It's the kind of book that, like I told you this, that I would put right on the shelf next to Bradbury and anybody else who wrote that kind of those kind of things. That good. I'm not kidding. No.
So thank you. You're so supportive through the years. I had written True Indie, which was essay memoir, and that was interesting and it was fun. I enjoyed sitting down and writing each chapter and telling my story. And then a few years went by, and I thought, I got to try writing some fiction, one of these days. And I, being sort of inherently a bit lazy, I didn't see myself writing the great American novel. So I thought, go for the low-hanging fruit. I'll write some Phantasm stories. How hard could that be, And so I started thinking through the different characters and like who had a story which could be expanded. And so I started off with a story about Reggie, because I had known that Reggie had served in Vietnam.
The real Reggie.
The real Reggie,
Reggie
Bannister.
Bannister, yeah.
He had served in the Vietnam War, and we never really talked about it much. And I knew he did some driving, like there was a Jeep and something with it. And I thought,
and an ice cream truck.
Well, no, he didn't have an ice cream truck. But anyway, I thought, okay, that would be interesting, because Vietnam War and from my generation was like a big deal. Like if you got a low draft number, you were going, and luckily I got a high draft number, so I didn't. But Reggie was not so lucky, and it completely tabled his music career, because he was on the road. He was in Reno with his band, the Greenwood County Singers, and they were doing TV appearances, and his mom called up and said, "There's a draft notice for you here, and you're not in school." So he went over. But anyway, so it's an origin story of the Reggie character in the crucible of war. So there's some supernatural events in the jungle, and if he's the hero from Phantasm, and you could see it in an early stage. So I really enjoyed the heck out of telling that story. And then going on to the one about the caretaker, because we have maybe the most impactful character in Phantasm, which is played by the wonderful Ken Jones, who passed away recently. And he just shows up, grabs the boy, strangles him, and then gets hit with a ball and is killed. And then I thought, shit, where the hell did this guy come from? How did he get under the domination of the tall man? And Don, wouldn't you enjoy telling all your little tidbits of mortuarial science you picked up over the years? So I told the whole story about a guy who had gotten into working at a mortuary as a grave digger, and just built out his physique over a number of years, and then got elevated to the crematorium, and then it goes from there, and how new management comes in. And it was also a fun thing because, hey, this is the thing about school. Like in school, you daydream through English class, and I had written this story, and then a friend of mine read it and said, "Hey, why don't you write it in second person?" And I thought, oh, that's a really nice idea. So I went back, and it's all like, you opened the door, and then you looked at her, and it was such an interesting. And now I've become a fan of grammar and all that stuff that I wouldn't want to touch when I was like 14 years old. Right. So anyway, told this backstory of the caretaker, and got a great early story about the Rocky character from Phantasm 3 before she meets Reggie, but when she comes out of the army. Backstory of the Tim from Phantasm 3 before he meets Reggie, and some of his adventures on himself. And then a post-apocalyptic story with the character of Chunk from Phantasm 5, if anybody's Phantasm Ravager,
Yeah.
who, so anyway, it's fiction, it's fun.
It's fiction. It's a terrific book, and you can get it at the table. I do want to say that I'm a huge fan of Ravager. You didn't direct it.